Federal Member of Parliament Marcus Powlowski for Thunder Bay Rainy River joins Net News Ledger with some great news, some good updates, and what you need to know. It's James with Net News Ledger joining us by phone in our continuing COVID-19 recovery and operations is Thunder Bay Rainy River MP Marcus Powlowski. Marcus, welcome back to Net News Ledger.
Thank you. So I don't know what you're going to show in your picture there. It's is this a blank screen or what's going on behind me?
Oh, wait till you see this. Your staff's already taken care of it with a good picture of you. They're taking good care of you. They're working hard too.
Well, I hope they doctor the picture so I actually look in the picture better than I really do in real life. So, I mean, there could be advantages to this.
Well, hey, you're going up against me, and look at, our hairstyles are... I had that discussion with Minister Hajdu last night about the men and the women with their hair, and she was like, I don't want to get into a gender issue. And off we went. But it's been challenging times. And you've been in the thick of it.
Yeah, it has, although I have to admit, for a member of Parliament, not as challenging it is for a lot of other people. We continue to get paid, and the work that we do as a member of Parliament is work that I think you can pretty well almost totally do on the internet, via Zoom or Skype calls or by telephone. Unlike the job I used to do, you can't deliver a baby through a computer, and you can't suture up a laceration, you can't intubate somebody virtually. That's stuff where you actually really have to do something, whereas what we do is mostly talking. So, and I continue to get paid. So I am very fortunate with this. So
now, over the last, since we first talked, you one of the first interviews we did once you were elected, you were doing a lot of stuff that was reaching across the aisle and working with other members of Parliament. And you've been doing that on the issue of tourism in northwestern Ontario, doing a joint letter with Eric Melito from the Kenora riding. The tourism sector in our region is getting hit hard.
That letter was in conjunction with Eric Melilo and also Charlie Angus. So it was the unusual event of having the NDP, the Conservatives, and the Liberals agreeing on one thing. But I think when it comes to our local ridings, we all want to kind of do our best for our constituents. And employment certainly is a major thing. And absolutely, the tourism industry is being hit hard. And because partly, this is hitting, we're just getting into the summer, but so far things haven't really opened up sufficiently to allow them to do their business. And basically their whole year's business is done in a number of months in the summer. Whereas, I think other businesses can kind of look and hope to, by the fall, by the winter, things getting better and making money. Whereas missing a summer means basically missing a year for a lot of sectors of the tourism industry.
When I was talking to Josh with the Northern Ontario Air Carriers Association, he said one of the issues for his members opening up a fishing camp, especially a fly-in fishing camp, they need to get the planes ready, they need to get liability insurance and insurance on the planes going, get the camp happening. And even with all the supports that are out there, the $40,000 loans, the staff, the 75% wage subsidy, transportation is still hit really, really hard.
Yeah, no, and I think the manager of the local airport was saying that their business is down 95% over previous years. So certainly transportation has been particularly hard hit, and to some extent it's been deliberate because we know. And the reality of this is that this pandemic occurred and as rapidly as it did because of the air travel.
Yes.
There used to be a saying, and I've been quoted on it, that how fast can an epidemic spread? And it was as fast as the fastest horse could run or the fastest boat could sail. However, now with air travel, people can can fly halfway around the world in what, half a day. So, and it's because of the vast amount of air travel in our connections with places like China that this spreads so rapidly. And one of the things that's been the saving grace for Canada has been the fact that we are a vast country with large distances between the communities. In better times, I'm kind of jealous of my brother who lives in Geneva, who can get on a fast train and be in Rome in a couple of hours, or be in Lyon in a couple of hours, or a little bit further, and he's in Czechoslovakia or Germany. So, whereas where do we, in a couple of hours from Thunder Bay by driving, where are we? Like most of the way to Duluth.
Or headed to Ignace.
What's that?
Or headed to Ignace.
So we're now normally that's something to bemoan, the fact that it's that far to go to nearby communities, but it has been something that has really benefited a lot of places. In northwestern Ontario has not had a lot of cases because we kind of shut down transportation soon enough. Same with those northern Indigenous flying communities.
Yes.
I talked to Alvin Fiddler early on in March, and he was saying, yeah, we're going to close down as much as possible travel. So it's been a deliberate thing that we've targeted people flying. It's a way of containing the disease. Now, certainly that's to the detriment of airlines who make their livelihood on flying. So,
well, it's also done a real number on the intercommunity bus service here in the north. The Ontario Northland has started running from White River to Winnipeg, but the company that was running all of those routes before Casper Transportation was at the same numbers, like a 90% drop in passenger rates, and they just couldn't survive at those kind of rates unless they were to take each individual ticket would start being like a ridiculous amount of money that nobody could afford.
Yeah, and I think the government, because you ask and talk about the difficulties faced by the airline industry, and they can and have availed a number of programs, whether it's the wage subsidy, emergency business account, FedNor funding. So there are some avenues that they can pursue in order to have the money to kind of get them by. So hopefully next year when things will rebound, and certainly I hope, we don't know if this is going to be the case, but I kind of hope that in the future years that this is going to be, if anything, something that becomes more popular, going to places like fly-in communities, because people are, let's face it, after this, I don't think many people are going to go vacation in Wuhan or in northern Italy, places where there's lots of people. Whereas if you're in a place that you have to fly in when you're sitting on a lake with one other person in your boat and miles to the next person, it looks pretty good. So there may be a rebound, and hopefully there'll be a rebound. But I guess the other thing, though, in terms of specifically modes of transportation, like I've certainly talked to Casper about the bus line quite a bit, and tried to do what we could because of the difficulties faced by people who are running buses, but also the airline industry. And again, I've spoken to quite a few people in the airline industry, and I think that our government is aware that some of these services are basically essential services. So the bus, for example, the bus brings people with medical problems from small communities to bigger communities, whether it's Thunder Bay or Winnipeg, for their medical appointments. It brings blood tests, it brings water tests, and I think importantly, it's the only way out of some of these small communities if people have problems, like there's problems with abuse and things like that. So these are essential services, although there may not have been as yet announced plans specifically for them. Things like FedNor does and has been trying to target businesses which have basically fallen through the cracks.
Yes. Okay.
So there's certainly the attempt to, as much as possible, assist these kind of businesses.
Well, there's probably not a sector of the business community that's not been hit really hard, except maybe Amazon and Canada Post. We did a story this week. They're having record parcel volumes, and they're saying, hey, you're going to have to wait a little longer. We just can't keep up. Online shopping has taken off.
Yeah, no, there've been some things which are the local slaughterhouses, the abattoirs, I think are doing pretty well as well, and I think local food producers maybe will do well. People who sell certain things, like you can't buy, I don't know about you, but it took me going to about 5 different places before I could buy some potatoes to plant. So, I mean, there are certain things which are selling like hotcakes.
Yes, so it's a different world. Here in Thunder Bay and in Thunder Bay Rainy River, what messages can you send out to the constituents? What would you like to share with them, Marcus?
Well, I would suggest that things are temporary. My own feeling is that there will be a vaccine. There's certainly no guarantee of that. Some kinds of viral infections like AIDS, we've never found a vaccine for AIDS. However, the prospects of finding a vaccine for coronavirus, COVID-19, seem to be fairly good. And although they're saying 12 months to 18 months, my own feeling is that it'll be before that. And I think there's a fairly good possibility that we will, in the not too distant future, have some forms of treatment that significantly improve the chances of people who are really sick actually getting better. So I think there is some hope on the horizon. If people are thinking, well, I know this is going to go on forever. No, I don't think it's going to go on forever. I think there will be a resolution of this. And in the meantime, yes, I know a lot of people are economically certainly feeling the pain, but I think this will be transient. Try to get through it, and I think alternatively, I think for some people, not for everybody, but I think for some people, they're learning some valuable lessons in this, and one of those valuable lessons is that having more time to spend with your family, to be at home, isn't necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people in life spend their whole day from morning till night working their butts off in order to get ahead, and miss out on a lot of things like spending time with their kids or spending time with their garden or things like that. So, I mean, we don't have a choice at the moment. Some of us do, but some of us don't and are forced to stay at home. And if you are, I'd suggest try to make your best of it. And it wasn't our choice. So,
Marcus, it's been a long haul, but maybe the light's at the end of the tunnel, as you're saying, and we'll keep in touch and keep talking.
Yeah. You didn't ask me about Bombardier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Bombardier has a new contract, and you're the MP in the riding. What?
Well, not only that, so that was really good, and they have I think 28 cars, but their production line for ventilators is up and running. They've put out their first ventilators now. They're, as of next week, mass producing them. They're figuring on 500 units a week. So a big part of the concern with COVID-19 was not having enough ventilators and being faced with a similar situation as in Italy, where people were being told, well, we're sorry, we just don't have enough ventilators. You're going to have to die. And And I mean, New York got close, but we haven't got there yet. I mean, who knows how long this is going on for, and if there's a second wave with the influenza pandemic of 1918, it was the second wave was worse than the first. But it is certainly, I think, reassuring to know that Canada now has the capacity to mass produce ventilators. So, and all the congratulations to the people working at Bombardier, to Dave Black, to Dominic, to all the people there who made it happen really quickly. I don't know if they're the first to be really mass producing ventilators, but they're certainly one of the first.
Marcus, so good news story.
Yeah, fantastic news story. And you know what? The plant and the people working at the plant should be proud, but the whole of Thunder Bay ought to be proud of them too. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And with that, we'll let you head into the weekend.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for calling.
Stay tuned and stay safe, and let's keep in touch.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to you. Bye.
Take care. Stay up to date, stay safe, and stay subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, join Net News Ledger on our YouTube and our Facebook pages so you know what's happening.